Hi, everyone. Today's podcast is about the American dream, for what it used to be and for what it is now. Somewhere along the lines, the opportunity to pursue a better life started to get measured by titles, status, influence, and wealth. But none of these metrics guarantee a better life and leaves most of us still dreaming. Speaking of dreams, I've thoroughly been enjoying my collaboration with Britt Mooney as we have been doing a podcast series on fairy tales. Britt is the founder and podcaster of Kingdom Over Coffee. We're in the midst of a 7-episode miniseries on the folktale Dapplegrim. The purpose of our discussion is to deepen the excitement and knowledge of ancient literature, scripture, and to amplify the power of story. Britt and I also have a passion for helping people grow and becoming wholehearted while doing our own best to grow in our journeys of life as well. This is the foundation of this tale called Dapplegrim. So if you haven't checked it out yet, you can search for Kingdom Over Coffee in your podcast feed and follow along. Britt has a lot of other valuable content and interviews there as well. Lastly, while you're still here, don't forget to rate and review this podcast. Your rating matters to help reach those who may be searching for this platform. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple: to eradicate burnout and to bring harmony, purpose, and balance to this world, starting with the family. My hope is that this show and the story shared will provide encouragement and ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive in to today's episode. I was quite conflicted when I heard about the new Advancing the American Dream Museum that just opened between the White House and the U.S. Treasury. The museum is not a house with a picket fence. It's a $500 million artistic overhaul of an old bank. On the surface, it commemorates what has made America unique since 1776: freedom, equality, stability, and opportunity. But its deeper message leans heavily on fame, wealth, and achievement. The hallways are lined with stories of the nation's wealthiest individuals and most influential organizations. In one part of the museum, visitors can even chat with celebrities through AI holograms. My conundrum is that I love that the museum elevates the freedoms that this country was founded on and all the comforts that we benefit from today. On the other hand, the underlying message that we can't miss is that being rich and famous is the primary symbol of success. Being rich or famous isn't necessarily bad, but elevating this type of status to being everyone's dream turns the dream into what we know as the rat race. The museum's displays of what success looks like is truly not success. True success is not found in the tangibles, it's in the intangibles. The dollar does not measure success, it's measured by the heart. The American dream was coined in 1931 by James Adams during the Great Depression. The dream promised that no matter our background or circumstances, we all had the freedom and opportunity to succeed and build a better life. This is a true statement and sounds amazing. However, as of 2025, millions of us are still dreaming. Or perhaps we are sleepwalking. Consider the data. A 2025 Gallup report shows that workplace disengagement is still at an all-time high, with 70% of Americans experiencing burnout, disengaged, and a lack of satisfaction in their work. At the same time, household debt is also at a historic high, with 77% of families carrying some sort of financial burden well into retirement. Burnout and debt feed into each other. People are working harder, feeling unstable, leaving the majority of our workforce exhausted and stressed while chasing the dream of a better life. Career burnout, compounded by financial burdens, leaves millions in the state of career paralysis, misaligned with their personal values, purposes, and loved ones. Where did we go wrong? We are heading in the wrong direction when we put success, at least the world's definition of it, before our purpose. When we understand our unique purpose in this world and can release our attachment to the outcomes of worldly success and status, we can find true fulfillment and contentment. True contentment is using our gifts faithfully and trusting God with the outcome. In 2023, my family had the opportunity to visit South Africa. And on the first day there, I met a gentleman from the slums who set the tone for the entire trip. I podcasted about this experience last year. And if you recall, from that podcast, I called him an angel. In summary, this angel changed my perspective on the American dream. Though he lived on very little, he was living an abundant life. It's hard to imagine, but the abundance had nothing to do with things. His abundance was in what we can't see: care, service, hospitality, joy, peace, patience, and kindness. This man's heart and hands were wide open. He was living a life of hospitality and used his gifts to help visitors navigate his territory. For the record, I have made a career in the hospitality industry, but I had never experienced the level of care that I did with this angel from the slums. In conversation about one of his visits to America, he was reminded that wealth does not bring happiness. He felt that we spend too much time complaining instead of taking the time to be grateful. This was an humbling experience. I never want to forget that experience because I constantly need my dreams to come back to earth. I need my pursuits to be balanced with gratefulness. I need my white knuckles of control to be surrendered to the open hands of giving. In a world that tells us to go higher, to do more, and be everything, my perspective, our perspective, needs a constant realignment towards humility, contentment, and service. The slums don't define us. The best neighborhoods don't define us. The job, no matter what stage of the ladder, does not define us. The posture of our hearts is the measure of the life of abundance. This is a dream worth pursuing. From an early age, we're handed a script that says, here's what success looks like. Here's the path to follow. Here are the tests to prove you're on track. For many, that script is the American dream, and letting go of it can feel impossible because it's all we've ever known. I get it because I've been there. I still battle the should-bes. My own freedom came the day I realized why I exist. And it wasn't about me at all. It was about God's greater purpose. I still struggle with the daily wrestling match of a life of earning versus a life of giving. This battle is the human experience. Fortunately, we have the freedom to choose. Life isn't about what we gain, it's about what we give. It's totally upside down to think about giving before receiving. So let's go. Let it go. Let go of other people's expectations, dreams, and successes that don't belong to you. Embrace the part of the American dream that celebrates opportunity because it's there for the taking. Take hold of what does belong to you, which is your identity and your purpose. What that looks like is different for everyone, and it's an exhilarating journey that makes dreams come true. The American dream, as we've known it, may be fading behind the walls of a museum, but a greater dream deep within all of us is still worth chasing. A dream rooted not in material gain, but in purpose, faith, and true freedom. When we let go of old expectations, the should-bes, and live authentically, trusting God to direct the results, we step into a life that no museum or paycheck can ever match. That is the dream worth chasing. Thank you for listening to the Work-Life Eubiosis podcast, part of the Work-Life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all. And your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and submit your story. While you're there, join the Work-Life Eubiosis newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.